Sometimes the simple moments stand out the most. My name's Gary Dean. I'm your Blue Hat Bucket List traveler. Did 34 cruises in 43 months. In that same 43 months, I drove all 48 states and 10 provinces. So 3.5 years, did a lot of travel. This video is about Baraka, Philippines. And one of the things they do there, they write in the sand. If you check YouTube or Google, you'll see a lot of, hearts and, it's a very romantic place. And I was there with Pink Hat, who is a Filipino, so Filipina. And it was my first time. I don't know if she'd been there before or not. I would have to think probably, she had gone to traveled during college and whatnot. So maybe she'd been there before, but it was my first time. And I would never go because it's hard to get to. It's an island. You have to, get over by it. And then you have to take a ferry or a small plane to get in and out of there. And just not really my thing. I fly enough on big planes. I don't like to fly on small ones. So it just was not going to be something I would ever do. And I'm not going to do a ferry either. If you Google about ferries in the Philippines, they have some, tragedies every year doing that kind of thing, overcrowding, and there's different reasons why that happens. But I'd lived there in the Philippines for 16 years, so I saw lots of videos. I wasn't going to be in one. But what happened was there was a cruise going out of Manila, going from Manila to Singapore, I believe. It was going to work good because Tony could come with me. Pink Hat could come with me because didn't need a lot of visas, and it was easy. Her passport gets her to any of those countries in Asia for a month or 3 months or whatever it is. So enough that she could get on the cruise ship. I needed to get different entries and exits and whatnot, and she didn't. So that was pretty cute. She enjoyed that. I knew one of the highlights. We were in Puerto Princesa, which was going to be amazing, but Boracay is. I was excited to see Boracay. Back up, first off, I was excited to leave Manila. Go out of Manila on a cruise ship is pretty cool. It was hard because of traffic and, the security at the port. They don't get many ships going in and out of there, so it was a crazy day. I'm going to tell you this. This is a tip. The taxis couldn't get anywhere near the port, right? Traffic was just backed up forever. So I just told the taxi guy, I said, hey, I feel bad for you. I'm just going to get out here. Here's your money. We'd already agreed to the fare or whatever. And, much quicker for me to figure out another way to get there than this. Hopefully you can turn left or right and just get out of this mess. And so we each had a big suitcase and a little suitcase. So we got our stuff, we got onto the curb, and coming down the sidewalk is one of those guys in one of those scooters, like a tuk-tuk kind of one, but it's Philippines, so it's not a tuk-tuk, but similar. It's got a big area on the back for 2 people and a couple suitcases, and then he's even got the luggage rack on the top, right? So I'm waving at this guy, hey, and he comes pulling up, and of course he wants crazy amount of money, not in my currency, but in local money, and so Pink Hat's upset that he's robbing us, and I'm just happy that it's so hot, right? It's like 35 Celsius, 95 degrees, sunny, 1 in the afternoon, ship's leaving at 5. We got 4 hours to figure this thing out. We got to get there. So I didn't haggle with the guy at all. When she wasn't, when she was busy organizing her luggage and figuring stuff out, I told him, and I said, and I'll double it. You just make sure you get me right to the ship. I don't want to get stuck at the gates of the port or anything. And so he's, oh yeah, what gets you in there? Oh, one time I can post a video. I imagine I did a video. So he gets us all situated, and he says, okay, we got to it's 10 minutes to the port, because we're going to go through the sidewalks and all this stuff. And he's honking his horn to clear the tourists out. And he says, but we got to run through the port security guys. They're going to try and stop us. Just whatever I say, you guys start agreeing. So as he's whipping up towards the port security in Manila, and it's like cowboy stuff, and I love that kind of thing, right? Just pay. I'll even pay the guards at the port if they'll let me through, right? I don't care. Just get me to that ship. And he starts yelling, seniors on board. And I tell you, it was just parted like the Red Sea. All these security guys were just, and through we went, and he's laughing because we're not quite seniors age yet, but yeah. Actually, when I think about it, I think that Pink Hat she's older than me, and I think she did have her security, but he doesn't know any of that. He's just making up that we're seniors. But I think she did have her senior card, and she could have shown it if they would have stopped us. But they just we looked old enough, and they let us through. So yeah, so he got us like right to the ship. So that was wonderful. And yeah, when she wasn't looking, I doubled his money, and he was happy, and I was happy, and great to get on that ship. And leaving Manila was, wow, what a view! That's a big city, one of the biggest in the world, right? It was just something to see. And then Boracay. Okay, we're going to get to Boracay now. So it was amazing, to just see the beach, the white sand beaches, just endless. It was Boracay's a lot bigger than I thought it was. It is quite big. Swarming though, like lots and lots and lots of tourists. So what we did was we hired, they call them tricycles there. They can fit a couple people, and the guy drives around. I just hired one of those for the day when we got off the cruise ship to do the full tour. And so it took us all over the place. One of the coolest things was we got kind of over by where the mangroves were, and kind of hustler kid come over and he said, I can be a drone. And I'm like, just kind of support the local economy. It just is like $5. It's never much money, and it makes a lot of difference to them. So you give him your phone and he starts flying it around, and he's going back and he's doing all this stuff with his phone like a drone, right? It's an amazing video. I'll post it, and I'll try to tag it into this one after. Just watch for it. It'll come up. And then we get to the white sand beaches. Everywhere I looked, it was the hearts, My name, GP, TD, was Pink Hat. We were doing the hearts and, just the whole thing. And then the photos. Because, yeah, the beach is literally sections untouched, and it's so much beach that it's empty enough that you can actually do things like that. And everybody was doing it. Yeah, it was amazing. The tour guy actually started doing it. He went and found the stick, and then he's showing us, yeah, here's the heart. And then, okay, and he's helping us figure it all out, and it's what they do. And then he's doing the photos of us with it, over by there. And yeah, I'll make a video of just Baraka one time of the whole thing with the drone guy and the beaches. Now, was it so wow that I would put up with ferries and flying myself in there and everything? No, I'd just there's beaches and things all over the place that are just as amazing. But if you're in that area and you can figure out an easy way to get there, for sure, I think it's definitely worth it. It's something to see. I would recommend, in Puerto Princesa. There's just so many islands over that side that are all white sand beaches and just amazing. But yeah, it was. And Boracay, I lived in the Philippines for 16 years, and somewhere around 2017 or 2018, they actually shut it down, I think almost for a year, to clean it up. It was getting so commercialized and beat up and run down from all the tourism that the president of the Philippines actually just shut it down. Just like, okay, we're going to let it let it rest, and we're going to fix it up and give it a break for the environment. And then, so they did that. And then the pandemic, of course, definitely gave it even a bigger rest. They didn't lock down, so much as some other countries, but it was, tourists couldn't really come in and out. So it got a good break. And so when we were there, it had been refreshed, which apparently it needed. It was just so popular and so busy. It would be, if you've seen my Bora Bora video, it would be like the Bora, it's kind of a Bora Bora of that region. Baraka. Yeah, if you get a chance, definitely go. I thought it was amazing, and to be on a cruise ship and get to see it coming and going, it was fantastic. It's a beautiful place, and like I said, a lot bigger than I thought it was. It's got a lot of chain hotels, and it's pretty snazzy. You don't have to do no name hotels and everything, and you can do. The food is great, and the hotels are great, and the major airlines go in and out of there, so you can look after you can have a great trip. Okay, cheers. Hope you're doing good.